In this video, we explore the process of finding the employees who moved from Dallas to Seattle in the last 12 months, except that the employees should not have worked in other cities other than Dallas and Seattle. Hello, I'm Jagan from Grow with Data. I am posting this video to share my knowledge in SQL with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I'll be happy. I'll be tagging this video to the playlist SQL Interview Questions. The code we discuss in this video will be posted in the GitHub and the link will be provided in the video description. Let's see the data set and we can talk about the question in detail. So we are given the table employees. Let's create it. So this employee table has all the employees who are working location details. The table has the employee number, their name, the city they worked on, the day they joined, and the moved out date of that city. If the move out date is null, that means the employee is currently working in that city. Also, one employee can work in only one city at a time. We are asked to find the employees who moved from Dallas to Seattle in the last 12 months, except that those employees should not have worked in any other cities other than Dallas and Seattle. So we have to find four conditions. The first one is the current city should be Seattle, and the second one should have stayed for less than 365 days in Seattle. The third one is should have moved from Dallas to Seattle. And the fourth one should not have worked in cities other than Dallas and Seattle. These are the four conditions we have to look for. So if you see the first data, employee 101, Alvin Davids, he is currently with Seattle. So the first condition satisfies. The second one should have stayed less than 365 days. So he moved on 2023. Let's put our current date 2024 0505. So consider 0505 as the current date. So he moved on 2023 October 30th. So November, December, 7 months, close to 7 months, right? So it's less than 365 days. So the second condition satisfies. And third one should have moved from Dallas to Seattle. So Dallas is the previous one, Seattle is the current one, satisfies. Should not have worked in cities other than Dallas and Seattle. So Dallas and Seattle is good, but Alvin works in San Francisco on 2020. So the first condition, second and third pass, but the fourth one fails. So Alvin is not eligible. If you go with Praveen, the current city is Seattle, good, and moved on 24 April, Jan. So less than 365 days. Second condition satisfies. Moved from Dallas to Seattle. That's good. Fourth one, should not have worked in any cities. So Praveen got Dallas and Seattle, no other cities. So Praveen is eligible. Go to third one. Ashok got only one record. So currently in Seattle, that's good, but we don't know from which city he moved from. So Ashok is not eligible. If you see Kumaran, the current city is Seattle, good, and stayed less than 365 days. No, it's on 2023 January. So 365 day finished on 24 January, but we crossed 24 January. So the second condition fails. So Kumaran is not eligible. You see Sabu, the current city is Seattle, good. Stayed for less than 365 days, yes. Have moved from Dallas to Seattle, yes. Should not have worked in cities other than Dallas and Seattle, no, because he worked in New York in 2013. So Sabu is not eligible. So out of these 5 employees, only Praveen is the eligible employee. Okay, now how to translate this to a SQL? Let's comment this out. So we can do this in 3 ways. The first simple way is self-join. Let's start with the self-join approach. So we start with from employees. We just say this is the start and then do the same table. E is the end. So start should be the starting city. End can be the current city, the end city. So how we connect this to employee number on E dot employee number equal to S dot employee number. right? And we can just say the starting point should be Dallas and should have moved to Seattle. So we just say starting point s dot city should be Dallas and e dot city should be Seattle, right? And then the current city should be Seattle. That means the moved out date should be null. The end dot move out date is null. If you have null, you can't put equal to. So you put is null, right? So if I have these conditions, let's see what we bring in. You can say yes dot employee number, yes dot employee name, and we can just bring in yes dot city, run it. So we got Alvin, Praveen, Kumaran, and 2 records of Sabu. So we have city is Dallas, the current city is Seattle, and then we got null. So for Alvin, the first city is Dallas, the current city is Seattle, and it's null. For Praveen also the same, for Kumaran also the same. So the first condition, we just put in current city is Seattle. The second one should have stayed for less than 365 days. So we just put and e dot the date, right? E dot the joining date, and the current date, right? So current date, the difference should be 365 days, less than 365 days. So date difference of the current date and the join date should be less than or equal to 365 days. If I run this, Alvin, Praveen, and Sabu exist. So Kumaran is gone because Kumaran's date is more than 365 days. So one employee is gone. And then the next condition is should have moved from Dallas to Seattle. So we have city as Dallas and Seattle is already been taken care. And the fourth one is should not have worked in any cities. So how will you find that? I am just going to put a subquery and any table s dot e number or e dot e number, whatever it is, should not be in the subset where select e number from employee table, EMPLOY, employee table, group by the employee number, having count of distinct city greater than 2. So what will this subquery do? So this subquery will bring in all the employees who have lived in cities more than 2. So let's take only this command and try to run. We just keep out this. If I run only this subquery, I'm going to have 101 and 105. So 101 is Alvin, got 3 cities, San Francisco, Dallas, and Seattle. 105, New York, Dallas, and Seattle. So we have put distinct, right? So even if we have Dallas twice, just consider once. So this subquery will bring in all the employee numbers who lived in cities more than 2. So that is taken care, and then we are just saying get me those employees who live in cities more than 2, and those employees should not be in the main query. So we are saying Dallas and Seattle, so they have to be in the 2 cities. Other than that, if there is one more city involved, then you should not consider those employee numbers. If I run this, I got only Praveen, who is eligible, and pass all the 4 conditions, right? So self join works so fine for me. So how will I translate this to a Windows function? So let me save this and let's go for the Windows function part. So we can just start with select the employee number, employee name, and the city. We can hold on to this and then go with the row number over. It should be for every employee. So partition by the employee number, and then you order by the joining date. Go for December. So descending order as the last place they lived in from the employees table. If I run this, it will give me the row number for all the employees starting with their last location. Seattle is the last location. I can just add the join date, which is going to be helpful for me. If I add more columns, then this coder pad will put a different format. That's why. Okay. So I got the join date. So based on the join date, it will order on the descending order. So Alvin last lived in Seattle and then starts with Dallas and San Francisco. And then Seattle and Dallas for Praveen, Seattle for Ashok, Seattle, Dallas for Kumaran, and Seattle, Dallas, New York, and Dallas for Sabu. So we put the rank. Now I'm going to use this as a CTE table and I'm going to play around with the data. With all data as I get this, I'm going to say select from all data, this as the starting data point, inner join, the same all data, which is the end point, on the connects with e number, e dot e number equal to s dot e number, and I'm going to check which one is the last location, row number 1, and which one is the second location, right, which is where they came from. So, and I say, and the first point is the end, e dot e place, the last place, equal to 1, and the secondary one where they came from, e place equal to 2. So I carry the last 2 records, and then I'm saying the current record should be null because the current location is where they are living, right? So I just say and e dot this last column move out date is still null. That means they're still working in that location is null. So I'm carrying the same condition. The previous conditions, I have the Dallas and Seattle, but here I say the last location and the previous location, and the move out date is null. And select statement, I just say s dot e number, s dot the name, s dot the city. And if I run this, oh yes, e unknown column e dot move out date. Okay, here I haven't brought in the move out date, so that's why it's throwing an error. So I bring in the move out date to city table. So now I got Alvin, Praveen, Kumaran, and Sabu. So 3 is missing. So 3 is Ashok got only 1 record. So by default, if I say e dot place equal to 2, Ashok won't have 2. He had only 1 record. So Ashok got filtered. Now we have this 4 condition, 4 employees. And we go with the next condition. So the next condition is going to be the city is, current city should be Seattle, right? And we can put that e dot city should be Seattle. No records are going to filter out because all the employees have the new latest city as Seattle. So s dot city should be Dallas. Since all the record satisfies this condition, there is no impact for this data set. And then I just bring in the date difference and make sure they stayed for less than 365 days. Current date and the joining date, the last one, right? E dot join date should be less than or equal to 365 days. If I run this, I get Alvin, Praveen, and Sabu. So Alvin here and Praveen here and Sabu all lives in the Seattle for less than 365 days. And the last condition is, and the employee should not be in the set where they have more than, where they lived in more than 2 cities. If that is the condition, then it should be filtered out. If we run this, it will filter out Alvin and Sabu. So you got only Praveen. So that is good with the Windows function row number. So we do the same with the self join. Only thing is we just have a clean data with the row number in it, and then using that row number we did a self join. It's kind of a clean SQL, right? And you can bring in whatever columns you need. So that is the advantage of using the Windows function. And the second one, so third one in the SQL and second one in the Windows function, rather than row number, we can use another function called lead lag, right? So lead will get the data ahead of the current row. Lag will get the data behind the current row. So that's the difference in lead and lag. So we are going to use that. So we are going to use the same CTE table logic. Instead of row number, we just say, get me the previous record and then bring me the city, and you partition by the employee number and you order by the joining date descending. So here we can just remove the descending. So we can just say, if you are going with the first record, you get me the previous record of this sorted based on the join date. So there is no record for Alvin Davids from San Francisco. So the previous record is going to be null. But if you go to the second record, for this, the previous record is going to be San Francisco. So every record for the current employee 101, it will get the previous record. That will the lag function do. So if I run this, okay, see, it will just get me the different format. So let me run with this. So if I have the employee name, city, and the join date and the previous place. You see the previous place for Alvin San Francisco, there is no record previously, so it shows null. And with the current Dallas, the previous one is San Francisco, and with Seattle, it got the Dallas. So you can bring in the previous location part. And I'm going to use this as the CTE table. So I can make this as with all data as a CTE table. Same like the previous one, but I'm going to use only once. For row number used twice, right? For here, I'm going to use only once. From all data where the move out date, bring in the move out date, where the move out date is null, so that we can say the current city is the living city, right? Null means whatever city they live in, the move out date is null. That means they're currently living in that city. And then and then say the current city is going to be Seattle. These two conditions will make sure that the employee is staying in Seattle and still active. And then I will say, and the previous one, the city which we brought in, right? So the previous one, which is the E place, will bring the previous records city. For Seattle, it goes to Dallas. For Dallas, it goes with Seattle for that particular employee. Okay. So I'll just say, and the E place, the previous place, is going to be Dallas. So if I run this, select, I haven't put anything. So I can just put an alias name, which is much better. You can say yes. So yes dot employee number, yes dot name, yes dot city. From Dallas, where move out date is null and city equal to Seattle, and E place with all data. Okay. So I have Alvin, Praveen, Kumaran, and Sabu. So Kumaran's previous one, what is the previous one? Okay, Kumaran got 2 records. Okay, that makes sense, right? So Kumaran's previous record is for Seattle is Dallas. So Kumaran also comes in this record. Let's go with it. Okay. So all these employees have the current status, move out date is null, and the current city is Seattle, and the previous city is Dallas. Ashok is the only one who got filtered out. And then I will add 2 more records, the 365 and the employee one. Let's go with it. Make sure the column name is right. So there is no E, it's yes. And then yes dot employee number not in this part. So it filters out all this because it should not be more than 365 and it should not exist in the city count, which is more than 2. So if you put all this condition, Alvin, Kumaran, and Sabu will be out of the list. So we get only Praveen as the list. So we start with a self join where we join employee table to itself and then make sure the first one is Dallas, the second one is Seattle, and the current one is Seattle because the movement date is null, and make sure the joining date is less than 365 days. So they are new to Seattle, and then make sure those employees don't have the cities other than Dallas and Seattle. That's a self join. If you want to go with the row number, the same with self join, just that we order based on the join date for every employee and use that as the condition and make sure all the conditions satisfy. The third one is much simpler than the row number. We use a lag function and get the previous city and make sure the current city is Seattle, the previous is Dallas, and less than 365 days in Seattle, and the employee don't have cities other than Dallas and Seattle. So we got all these 3 processes done. You practice all 3 and see which one makes more sense for you. If you want to see this code, then you go to the YouTube channel Grow with Data. This is going to be in the SQL Interview Questions. You go here, the link will be in the description part, and if you click on the GitHub link, it will take you to the code base for that corresponding video. So that is the first video. This one is going to be the 39th video where you have the create statement, the first self join, and then the Windows function row number, and then the Windows function lag. If you want to see join the WhatsApp channel, there is a link here. You can use this and join Growth Data WhatsApp channel. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.